20 judges,
2 days,
13 categories,
39 cars.
and 15 various tests.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2025 Cars.co.za Awards. Hello and welcome back to Cars.co.za. I'm David Taylor, and today we're doing a review of a different kind. So maybe you've decided to take the plunge and go, you know what, I don't want petrol or diesel anymore. I want to try the electric lifestyle. And here we are at Geratech testing facilities, and behind me is a Cars Awards category, electric cars. And for R1,000,000, you have these as an option. Which one is the best? Let's go check them out. Now, what exactly have we got to play with today? If you've been following Cars Awards, you may remember this guy. This is the BMW iX1, and it cleaned up in the category of electric cars last year. However, new challenges have arrived. This is the brand new Mini Countryman SE All-4. Now, if you weren't already aware, these two cars are mechanically identical. Same battery size, same twin motor setup. However, the Mini is 200,000 Rand less. Now that's an interesting thing to consider. 200,000 Rand difference? I mean, that makes quite a difference on a monthly installment. And finally, the new kid on the block, the brand new Volvo EX30. Now, I've been driving this thing and it's an absolute rocket, but it is a smaller car, similarly priced. But how are they all going to stack up? We've got to go for a drive. Right, first car under assessment, the BMW iX1. Like all electric cars, acceleration is sprightly. There's 230 kilowatts here, almost 500 Newton meters, twin motor setup, one motor on each axle, which means four-wheel drive. And the great thing is you can accelerate super quickly. It's just the stab of a button. So here we go, 13 k's an hour, and 3, 2, 1, let's go. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Easy as that. BMW claims 0 to 100 in 5.6 seconds. And now this isn't marketed as a sporty car. And yet here we are, flicking little boy racers in their GTIs out the way. And remember, this is an electric, premium baby SUV. How awesome is that? And it's quite addictive. I've been driving electric cars for some time, and the novelty of just, it never gets old. Now, as a reminder, we're at Geratech, so we've got all these amazing facilities easily accessible. So I've just entered the dynamic handling track, and while dynamics and handling and performance driving aren't a big deal breaker for electric cars, it's nice to know you can have a bit of fun. And BMW with its steering is very direct, quick feedback. I can just lean into the corners, I can accurately place the car where I want to go. And a reminder, this is just a normal premium electric SUV, and this is actually quite fun to drive. There's just so much grip, and the torque from the electric motor is instant. So if you do feel like you actually want to get home quickly and you just want to just stand on it, you can. By now you're probably wondering, okay, what's the range on this electric car? This is better be good. And BMW claims just over 400 kilometers per charge. Now I always take these claims with a pinch of salt, because you're going, is it a hot day, is it a cold day? Like, these are factors that affect battery range. I mean, right now I charged the car this morning, I'm in a sport mode, so I've got 290 kilometers to go. There's a 64 kilowatt hour battery, and I think the minimum expectations now are 300 Ks. So, like I said, I've charged the car up, it's a 95% battery, and I've got 286 Ks until empty. And if I put it into eco mode, it goes up to 340. So I think 340 Ks of range is acceptable. More range is always preferable. One of the biggest criticisms of electric cars is the platform. So you have your two wheels with your battery situated between them. It looks like a skateboard. And the downside of the skateboard platform is the chassis tends to be a bit stiff. So now we're on the cobblestones, and this is a simulation of a European spec road. And you can see by my body moving around and the camera shake, the car's moving a lot. But at no point is it unbearable. The damping on the suspension is good. It's passable. I mean, I would like to be in something softer, perhaps some lower profile tires, that would help. But yep, this is good. It copes well with the cobblestones. Next up on Gearotech's comprehensive handling and ride control is the corrugations. This is very bumpy. Traction control not liking this. It's doing its best to try keep the car in straights, rein the wheels in. Okay, and impressively there's no rattles or squeaks yet. Let's try another one. Oh, this is bumpy. I'm doing 40 k's an hour. We're being shaken about here. But the car runs and tracks straight and true, so that's all right. Passes that test. Now, first things first, if you've driven a standard X1 and the iX1, you're going to struggle to see any difference. And this is pretty cool, I think, because electric cars are too polarizing. You don't want to freak people out. You don't want to scare them. This is generic BMW premium. Good. So simply just put the thing on start. Makes a cute little electric noise, and the general fit and finish is nice. There's this gorgeous screen, crisp graphics. I love this floating console. Here's your gear selector, very nice. And my favorite thing though is mobile phone in the wireless cradle. It can stay there, it's out of sight. It's a good place to charge your phone. And yeah, I mean, this is good general premium crossover seating position. I'm very happy. This is a cool place to hang out. And of course, being a BMW iX1, which is part of the X1 family, it needs to have some degree of practicality. Now, I'm a 1.91 meter, 100 kilogram male, and I've got bad news if you're tall. I mean, I've got enough headroom, and I'm actually quite comfortable on my back, but my knees, despite the concave design of the chair, my knees are smashed up against the front here. So this is tolerable for short journeys, but I don't want to be here for a 4-hour trip. However, for the little ones, this is going to be great because you can hook up your devices. There are 2 USB chargers there. There's climate vents that you can direct and open and close. Beautiful fittings and finishings, lovely leather on the seats, Harman Kardon sound system, which is an optional extra, I might add. So it's acceptable for the small ones. I wouldn't like to be here for a long trip. Now, time to drive the Mini Countryman SE All 4. Now, as a reminder, we're now up to 3 mentions. This is mechanically a BMW iX1. All 4 means all-wheel drive, motor on the front axle, motor on the back axle, 230 kilowatts, 494 Newton meters, and like all electric cars, you can start applying the power and it scoots off. And there's a cute sound as well. Are you hearing that? It's like a little spaceship. There's 80, 90, 100. Yep, no hesitation on the performance there. In-gear acceleration. Yeah, that scoots along. The instant torque of an electric car is so addictive. Never gets old. But you can make things fun, and there's the mini experiences here. So I'm going to put into go-kart. Woohoo! And then you got a different sound. And it even sounds like it's got a little turbo flutter. And this is what I love about Mini. I mean, yes, mechanically it is BMW Group product, but there's just an injection of happiness and fun and funkiness. I mean, it seems like the brand doesn't take itself that seriously, which is cool. I like a little bit of individualism. Back onto the dynamic handling track, and like all Minis, we've activated the go-kart mode, and the car's in its sportier setting, and let's go. Jeez, this thing's quick. And this new Mini Countryman, there's nothing Mini about it. This is a big car. I mean, you put this against the original Mini, I mean, it feels like you could put that car in the boot. That's how big this new Mini is. It's a genuine family car. Steering's nice and direct. No hesitation there. Let's attack those corners. These noises are hilarious. Braking is very good if you're feeling things are out of control. Oh, this is a tight hairpin. No ABS. Geez, that's good. Right, turning. Oh, I'm so glad that in 2024 you get brands that don't take themselves too seriously. You're like, you know what? It's an electric car. Yes, we're trying to save the world, but let's still make it fun. Right, let's go test out the ride quality and control, because surely there's a compromise. Too much sportiness, too much fun, too much engagement. Is there a price to pay when it comes to comfort? Right, Geratech's ride quality test. The cobblestones? Yeah, this is much of a muchness. This is much like the iX1. It's firm, it's jiggling about, but it's not crashing. This is the suspension damping it out. So this is not really pleasant. I'm going at about the same speed as last time, but yeah, these electric cars are always on the firmer side, so be mindful of the road quality conditions when you're driving. Pothole, bumpy road. Oof, that is very bumpy. I'm going to skip that one. Let's go straight to the corrugations now. Let's see if the traction control light comes on. It's not. Car's, whoa! The car's shaking all over the place, and I think the steering is so light that it actually kind of started shimmying sideways. So keep the hands on the wheel. Yeah, that's not too bad. Of course, a car is at its happiest on a perfectly smooth road like we are now. Onwards. Time for some numbers. Acceleration, 0 to 100 in 5.6 seconds. Like the iX1, it has a 64 kilowatt hour battery. And interestingly, Mini has got a different strategy when it comes to battery range. They're claiming between 390 and 440. But again, take those figures with a pinch of salt. I've got 90% battery and the car's saying 242. So I think I would like a bit more range, but I mean, I am driving like a spirited driver, as they say on the socials. And if you drive conservatively and you drive in the eco mode, which is very cute by the way, lots of green themes and lights, you should get a bit more range. But as a daily driver, if you're not doing more than 150 k's a day, this thing is pretty good. And when you climb into the Mini Countryman, the first thing you'll notice is the color, the vibrance. This is a genuinely interesting car. I mean, I love this recycled ombre pattern. I mean, BMW claims that most of this dashboard and interior panels are made from recycled furniture and fabrics and seats and so on. So it's got a feel-good factor to it. But for me, the centerpiece is this gorgeous OLED circular infotainment system. It's super responsive. It's gorgeous. There's so many modes. It's colorful. It's vibrant. And I love all the noises. So you switch it on and cute little noise. Oh man, this is such a cute car. Life's too short to drive boring cars, and I love this Mini for it. And it's crazy to think that BMW and Mini, it's fundamentally the same car, yet Mini has just gone, we're just going to add some salt and some spice and make this thing cool. Now you may have noticed there's no instrument cluster, there's just this dashboard, the circular screen, everything is through here. But cheekily, Mini will sell you a head-up display so you get all the critical driving information over here. But for me, it's the textures. It's a cool, interesting car. And of course, because it's a Mini and you're paying a premium price, you get all your luxury features like your wireless charger, OLED screen, heated seats, climate control, and so on. And once you climb into the back of the electric Mini Countryman, you can see the funky theme is continued. But let's do that practical test. You see, as I've already mentioned, iX1, Mini Countryman, same platform, same wheelbase length. So again, I'm suffering with knee legroom. But reminder, I am tall, I am a big guy, so this space is best suited for small children. That being said, I would option a pano roof for this because I feel a little bit claustrophobic in here. But again, it's okay for short trips. And now it's time to drive the Volvo EX30. Now, the first thing you need to know about this car is it's the fastest car, not just here with the electric cars, but pretty much the fastest car we're testing at the 2024 Cars Awards. So, the party trick. I'm going to come to a stop. I'm going to push the car setting. I'm going to go performance all-wheel drive. I'm going to click that, and now hold on to your breakfast, because in 3, 2, 1, party time. There goes a phone and a can. I'd forgotten how fast this thing is. Officially, Volvo claims 0 to 100 in 3.6. Now, locally, I tested it down in Cape Town and I got about 3.8. But it's still, that is staggeringly fast. I mean, in comparison, the RS3, A45, M2, they do 0 to 100 in about 3.8, 3.9. And those are proper thoroughbred performance vehicles. This is a tiny Scandinavian Volvo crossover, which happens to be electric and happens to be a rocket. So yeah, the question is then, do you really need to go this fast in an electric car? I mean, I suppose it's like a Leatherman. I mean, you got all the toys in your Leatherman. I mean, do you use all of them? No, but it's a nice thing to have. It's nice to know you can if you want to. But how does it actually drive? Let's go to the handling track.
This is the wet handling track, which allows the judges to test the cars in a simulated rainy environment, and also the windscreen wipers, I suppose.
One of the nice things about the Volvo EX30 is the seating position. Like, I don't feel like I'm in a proper SUV. I feel like I'm in a little crossover. So it still feels like a small, compact, sporty car. And now that we're on the handling track, what can a 1 million rand Volvo EX30 do? And the answer is fun. Oh, this thing is so fast. It's too fast for its own good. Brakes are good. Turn in. Geez, that steering's good. Good feel. You can set the steering in the control panel. You can have a soft feel. You can have a hard. I like a bit of feedback. This is so direct. Oh, that performance is staggering. This is very unbecoming for Volvo, for a brand that prides itself on safety. And you may remember Volvo said, no, you must no longer have top speed. We're limiting our cars to 180. And to a degree, I sympathize and I agree. I think 180 is fast enough. This thing just happens to get to 180 really quickly. And it's quite a fun little steer. I think it handles better than it needs to be. Right, back at the bumpy roads and suspension and comfort refinement tests. I will say I'm optimistic that the massive big-wheeled EX30 is going to cope just fine. And here we go. Oh, that is very firm. Yeah, we're getting bumped around in here. This is overly firm, but I suppose this is the compromise from having the sporty suspension. So let's try a little bit of the potholes. And the answer is no, it can't. It's a little bit, it's pulling itself back. The car does not like the corrugations. I'm putting this EX30 in the same boats as all electric cars. They're lovely to drive, but they are firm. So be mindful of that. And if you have the option to go for a higher profile, smaller wheel, a nice plumper tire for extra comfort, do it. Range, Volvo claims 450 kilometers. Currently the battery's at 54% and I've got 181 kilometers. So you can extrapolate, there's a big word kids, you can extrapolate that data and say, I reckon there's probably about 350 kilometers, I think, doing some quick mental maths. Welcome to the cabin of the Volvo EX30. Now, first things first, the EX30 is the first of a new generation of Volvo's products. I've already driven the EX90, that's coming to South Africa next year, but right now EX30 is the brand's most popular electric car. And if I stand to be corrected, I think 1 in 3 electric cars sold in South Africa this year, 2024, is one of these, an EX30. So let's unpack what's going on here. Much like the Mini, there's no speedo here. Everything is through this portrait infotainment system. This thing is massive. I think it's around 10 inches. The entire system is Google based, and it's not Android Auto, it's Android Automotive. It is really nice to use. You've got all your functionality, and of course you've got Google Maps built in. You've got some fun stuff as well, Play Store, Maps, YouTube. You can play some games while you're charging. Now, I don't know about you, but I actually like pushing the button for a glove box, but here it is on the screen. But you do have to hand it to Volvo for going all minimalist. The only buttons in this car are the windows. Everything else is through the touchscreen. When it comes to tech and practicality, of course, there's your good old wireless charger. It's over here. I love these cup holders. There we go. But you have to be mindful of putting a key here, because if you accelerate too hard, the key is going to get stuck in here, and that requires quite a few hours to get it out. That's a nice touch. Come on, in you go. Volvo says the EX30 is built with sustainability in mind, and there's a lot of recycled plastics. So like these panels, these are all recycled. The car comes with a beautiful pano roof, but I mean, I'm a very fair-skinned guy, and I would like the ability to cover this pano roof. Otherwise, I'm just going to get roasted. And if you enjoy your music, you'll notice there's no speakers in the doors whatsoever. Instead, you get this gorgeous Harman Kardon soundbar that stretches across the dashboard. So you, like me, can listen to Taylor Swift at full volume. Welcome to the back of the Volvo EX30. As you can see, the minimalist theme has continued, some recycled materials. But I will confess, this is not my driving position. But I'm a tall guy and I've tried to fit in, and if I had to sit in my position, I would not fit here. So for the interests of visuals, this is me trying to squeeze myself into an unnatural position. This is not my driving position. Maybe a smaller human would be able to fit me, but headroom, I'm okay. Knee room, space, no, this is not good. Not good for adults whatsoever. I am very cramped, I'm uncomfortable, my shoulder's up against the door. But they still have convenience features, window controls integrated in the center, USB ports, and a nice place to put a device. When it comes to your electric cars, you also need to have an element of practicality. Now, for the record, BMW iX1, 490 litres, 460 litres on the Countryman SE, and 318 litres on the EX30. But what do these numbers actually mean? We need a real-world test. Pram. Perfect. Good cruise, hard to find. Fold that up, and away we go. Right, electric tailgates, we've got the pram. Let's test the depth. Okay, that's not bad. It's sticking out a bit to give you some idea. What about the width? There we go, yep. You can do 2 prams if you've been blessed with twins, and a space for a couple more bags. That's not bad. Right, let's go on to the Mini. Now, as a reminder, it's on the same platform as the iX1, so I'm expecting pretty much the same results here. Yep, that's wide. Okay, it's not as wide as you go into the depth of the boot. And I think the depth favors the iX1. But what about the Volvo? It is the smallest car here, so let's have a look. Let's see if this little Swedish crossover can fit. So please excuse my cables. EV charging life. Okay, a pram can go in there. That's good. But as you can see, the depth isn't great. And if you're clueless like me, Volvo's put this handy little decal over here so you can see how to pack the car. So there we go. If you want practicality, iX1, it is the biggest car here. This has been an enlightening few hours driving these 3 electric cars back to back, and the temptation to include many electrical puns is there, and I'm not going to plug you on those. But ultimately, I need to choose a winner. But every one of these is a good car. I mean, they're finalists in the Cars Awards electric car category after all. But which one would I take home? Let's go through these cars one by one. BMW iX1, great car, last year's defending champion. I think it's excellent. But that pricing now in comparison to the other two, 200,000 Rand more than its mechanical twin, the Mini Countryman, that's problematic for me. I think 200,000 Rand can be better spent elsewhere, and I'm leaning straight away to knock the iX1 out and go straight to the Mini. I then look at that Mini and go, this is a fantastic car, it's well built, it's well appointed, it's got niche funkiness about it, it's an interesting, cool car. But if I look towards that Volvo, That thing is ballistic fast. It's got a state-of-the-art Google infotainment system. Yes, the ergonomics aren't quite right, and getting used to all the functionality being integrated into the touchscreen, that is not going to please anyone. Plus, yes, it is fast, but do you really need to do 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds? I would happily sacrifice that performance for more range. Also, when you consider the Volvo EX30 hierarchy, I think there's better value going lower down. You don't need that much power. The lowest spec models do 0 to 105.6, plus you have the extra range to deal with. Price from 791,000 Rand, I think the EX30, there's better value elsewhere. So, who actually wins this test? I'm leaning towards the Mini Countryman. Same price as the Volvo, bigger car, more interesting, and it actually feels like the brand that deserves to go electric. It's so niche, it's fun, it's funky. I can't help but like it. But my opinion doesn't really matter. We'll see what happens with Cars Awards. I hope the Mini takes it. Let me know in the comments. Okay, bye.
What's the car with Cars.co.za? Meet on the move Roxy. Her perfect car has a cup holder that fits her oversized color-coded sippy cup. Now think of a car, any car. Yes, we have it. Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.